Hi, it's Kaeyi and welcome to this week's episode of the HardwareHeaven.com's video roundup. We've got a ton of news for you, as well as a keyboard review and also a review of Dishonored if you haven't already seen it previously this week. Now let's get straight on to this week's news. ArenaNet have announced their much anticipated plans for Guild Wars 2 Halloween event. Now, Mad King Thorn is making a comeback from Guild Wars 1, and there will be new events as well as mini games and a ton more content that people can experience from October 22nd through to the 31st. Apparently, according to the Guild Wars 2 website, it's going to be an act of 4 parts. So this is definitely something to be excited about. If you've already done everything you can possibly do in Guild Wars 2 and are just kind of PvPing world v world, it'd be great to actually have something new to experience throughout this holiday event. So look forward to that and make sure to have your patches ready for when that goes live. Ubisoft have released a new character trailer for the game Far Cry 3. You are introduced to Citra, the leader of the Rakyat tribe, and Dennis, who is your spiritual guide in becoming a warrior. So as always guys, I'm going to show you this awesome new trailer.
You have the right to take my life. But no, I will also take yours. I am Dennis. There's some things I must warn you about the island. Do not go there unprepared. Some of them even eat human flesh. Citra is the leader of our people. She will reveal your true power.
Come with me. Legend tells us that a warrior from the Northern Kingdom slayed a giant. He cut the giant's head clean off its body. The skull of the giant fell to earth and became our island. The descendants of the warrior became the Rakyat, our people. Until the enemy stripped us of everything. Help us free our captive warriors, and I will give you the power you desire.
Earlier this week, a new playable class was released in Borderlands 2. Now, Gage is a very young and witty necromancer, and she actually has a companion called Deathtrap. Now, as with all of the other playable classes, there is an interactive skill tree on the Borderlands 2 website that you can have a play around with some of the specs and see how you want to play this brand new class. Now, it was actually released early because they managed to finish the class earlier than anticipated, so you can actually pick up the downloadable content free if you pre-ordered Borderlands 2, or for £7.99 if you didn't pre-order. So check it out guys. I haven't yet had the opportunity to play, however I have downloaded the DLC. She looks really interesting in comparison to some of the other classes. It's a really new take on Borderlands 2 and should be fun for all of you, even if you've completed the game already. So definitely check it out guys. It's something that should be interesting, especially with this new DLC coming up in the near future. Blizzard have announced that World of Warcraft's patch 5.1 is on the public test rounds. Now, if you are playing Mists of Pandaria, you can look forward to things like being able to upgrade your battle pets. So if you have an uncommon battle pet, you can use the battle stone and upgrade the rarity of your pet, which will upgrade the stats. You can also look forward to the Brawlers Guilds. Now, these are 1v1 PvP battle arenas, has been referred to Fight Club in WoW, and there's one for Alliance and one for the Horde. So you can test your skills against other players in a 1v1 deathmatch to see who is the best. Hopefully they'll have some sort of rankings like they're doing with challenge modes, and we can see server-wide who is the best in these arenas. That'd be awesome. Also, the Horde and the Alliance feud is going to be ever more prevalent in Pandaria. You'll start to see waves of armies of the various factions coming onto the Isle, and there'll be various things that will tear you apart and really show that rivalry, and more quest lines and events and things to follow. So that is really, really interesting. If you are playing Mists of Pandaria, definitely check it out. If you aren't, this is something that should be interesting to lure you back to World of Warcraft, as Blizzard always do. On the Assassin's Creed 3 website, there is a series of puzzle challenges put on there for dedicated fans to play through. Now, these series of puzzles are based on the American Revolution. Now, you need to look at the pictures from this historical moment and find the anomalies. Now, it is said that there's over 21,000 anomalies found already, and many assassins have to work together to reveal this bigger picture that is very much encoded. And hopefully, after the 9 days that this is being playable for, something very exciting will be released. So keep an eye out on this website if you are interested in Assassin's Creed 3. Maybe play along, try and help your fellow assassins, and this should be something exciting to look forward to. Okay, onto the review section of this week's video, and we are looking at the CM Storm Quickfire Pro by Cooler Master. Now, this is a mechanical gaming keyboard with the Cherry MX Red switches. If you take a look at the box, you simply get the keyboard as well as a tool to actually easily take on and off the actual keys. You can see here you get 2 spare keys in the box, which simply just have the CM Storm logo on them, just if you want to replace a couple of keys or keybind them to something else other than what is actually on the actual keys. To take these out, you simply just clip in this tool and pull it out. And to put it back on, you simply, again, push it back in, and there we go, it's back on for you. It's a really great tool to actually replace the keys if you need to, and it's quick, easy and simple. So let's just get straight into the key features of this keyboard. Now, the main thing is that it is a mechanical keyboard and it is designed specifically for the use of gaming. Now, these keys are designed to create less noise than some of the other MX switches. For example, the brown switches do make a lot more noise than the cherry red ones. Now, in regards to the appearance of the keyboard, you can see it's got the typical Cooler Master kind of half case style bottom here. It's got those ridges, so it's got a unique feel to it, and I think personally it's a great look. It's quite heavy. The keyboard itself is quite heavy, and it actually doesn't move at all really on the desk, which is great. Some other keyboards that I've used in the past actually feel like they're slipping everywhere and they don't have that great weight to them that keeps them in place. So I quite like the weight to it. It's not something that you would lug around and carry with you, but that's not what it's designed for. The keyboard itself doesn't really have any fancy buttons that you can press, or, you know, much like the other keyboard I use at the moment, which is the Razer Lycosa. You'll notice that it has kind of a touchpad on it and you could change the lighting. Everything that you do on the keyboard is key bound. You have a function switch here, which you can press on and off, and that's basically how you change the functions on the keyboard. So if we have it on, you can then use the F1 to F4 keys to change the lighting modes. So you press F1 to turn it on and off. You press F2 to change the brightness up, down, and then F3 to change it back up again. And then F4 is to change the cluster lighting. So you can have simply just your arrow keys fading in and out, and it will bring up the cluster here. You can see that fading in and out. Then you can have just WASD and the arrows, or you can have the cluster over here, which is used mainly for gaming. You then have your multimedia keys here, You can play, pause, stop or skip, and then your sound keys here, as well as a great button here which actually locks the Windows buttons down this side. So if you are in a game, you don't want to be pressing Windows here and then actually going out of the game. So you can actually lock that, meaning that if you press this, no matter what you do, it won't take you out of your game, which is great. Simply, if you just want to use the F keys for what they were designed for, if any key bounding games, you just press the function key and you can access them as you need. The main gripe that I have with this keyboard, and it seems really simple, however it was really annoying when trying to set up my keyboard in the beginning. Now if I flip this over, you'll see here where the cable actually plugs into the back of the keyboard. Now I'm not going to remove it because, as I said, this was the biggest annoyance. This cable is actually removable from the keyboard, and it's a mini USB cable that you plug into the back of the keyboard, and it's designed so that you can slot the wire as you wish, and then it's actually a fast 2.0 cable made by Cooler Master. However, trying to get this cable into the back of the keyboard was really frustrating because, as you can see, you have this tiny little gap here to actually get the cable in. So you've got to be able to slot it in this small gap, which as you can see is about 3 of my fingers wide. So you need to be able to get this in, and it's designed so that you can actually put the cable and slot it down the side so it's clean and tidy. However, I don't think they actually realise that, you know, it would be really difficult to get this cable in. Preferably, I think that it should be made with a built-in cable so that the cable just came out and you could slot it down the side. I don't see that it's necessary to actually have it removable. However, after speaking to a few people, they suggested, you know, it's so that you can just replace the wire if the wire actually breaks and you don't have to replace the whole keyboard, which again, yeah, is a great feature. However, I think that maybe they could have put it here or even on the back side here. I don't see that it causing any issues with anyone having a wire coming out the back of a keyboard rather than underneath. However, again, as I said, it's a very small thing. It's nothing major. This is the actual first mechanical keyboard that I've used. In regards to sound, I'm going to do a short type test for you, just so you guys can hear what the sound is like. I was actually quite shocked at how quiet it was. I thought it was going to be a lot louder than other keyboards I've used. As I said, my other keyboard of choice is a Razer Lycosa. By it being not mechanical, you know, it doesn't make that much noise at all, but I thought the comparison was going to be massive, but it's not. So this would just be how I would type normally. And if I just repetitively press one key, you can hear it's not that noisy. In all honesty, I am pleasantly surprised by the noise level of this keyboard. I wouldn't be put off from using it whilst I'm streaming or recording gameplay at all. I think it's great. The reaction times between a mechanical keyboard and the standard keyboard that I've got is massive. I found now that whilst playing games, I'm actually able to do things that I wasn't able to do previously. For example, whilst playing Guild Wars 2, if you play it, there's jumping puzzles. I was terrible at jumping puzzles before. I thought I just generally sucked at them. Now, with my mechanical keyboard, I'm finding that I'm able to actually make the jumps and make those slight movements to actually get to places that I want to be, simply because the reaction times and the speed of these MX switches is great. And if you want that precision and you want those fast key presses, then a mechanical keyboard is great. The design is great. I've got a half 915 case and it matches perfectly, which is something that I love. I love the contrast of the red on the black. It's really great to see in the dark. Unfortunately, my room never gets dark enough to actually show you guys what it would look like in the dark, but it is really bright, and with being able to change the brightness, you can have it up and down as you wish. Personally, I don't understand why we have the mode that fades in and out of darkness and brightness, because that would be really distracting as a gamer on your keyboard for it to just be changing lights like a Christmas tree. So personally, I think that's unnecessary. I would have rather had a fully backlit mode rather than this fading in out mode, because personally I like to play with a fully backlit keyboard because I like to have different keyboards. I like to have different keybinds than, say, some other gamers who just prefer this one cluster. I do like to preferably have a fully lit keyboard so that I can see it when I'm gaming at night in my cave. So yeah, they're the only two things that I would say was bad about this keyboard. You know, as a keyboard, as a mechanical keyboard, I think it's great. I've had no problems with installing any drivers or anything like that. It's plug and play, put it in and you're off, which is great. Again, the only problem I had would be get a big strong man to plug in the cable, because this keyboard is not made for weak people. You need to get someone strong to whack in the cable in the back, because there was no chance in hell I was ever getting that in. Apart from that, yeah, great keyboard. Thank you very much, Cooler for making this great keyboard, and it has officially replaced my Razer Lycosa as my keyboard of choice, because I could not go back from having these great satisfying key presses to my Razer Lycosa. A mechanical keyboard all the way.
Earlier this week we did upload a Dishonored review on the channel. Because the video is so long, it is uploaded separately, so click anywhere on the screen right now and you'll be taken to that review if you're interested. Thank you for watching this week's video, guys, and we will see you next week. Bye!